So welcome everyone to our presentation on lather, rinse, repeat, and getting into the shower with Mobile Qual and other private places. We're going to talk a little bit this afternoon about some of the key areas that where we feel that sentiment, audio, and Mobile Qual are able to get at some really critical points in research. Now, I have to apologize to this quantifiably, quantitative-oriented audience that I'm a little bit more low-key than the quantifiable world. We're really in the qualitative space. But I think there's still a tremendous amount of room inside of marketing research for qualitative work to be done on a mobile level. And what we're going to talk a little bit about today specifically are going to be concepts of audio and also concepts of privacy. So I want to start with these three key points. The spoken response in the moment is the key to understanding sentiment. And audio lets you be there and hear sentiment without actually physically being there. And Mobile Qual can deliver quantifiable results. So who are we? We're Civicom. We're a global operator. We operate in 96 countries and can do Mobile Qual in any of those countries. We provide a number of services to clients, such as virtual IDIs and focus groups, and also all of our qualitative services in mobile. So I think we all know the answer to this question. The key to marketing is why. Why do consumers make the choices they make? Why do they prefer one brand over the other? Why do they reject one design and choose another? And why is an ad compelling or not compelling? So we came up with this little matrix to illustrate the intersection of qual at the point of purchase and how mobile fits into that. And we've called this the 4 quadrants of research, our Mobile Qual matrix. So you've got quant that kind of can operate at the point of purchase or elsewhere, and qual that can also do the same. But the one place where the point of purchase and qual comes together is with Mobile Qualitative, because that's where you can really get right at what is happening in that exact moment, not in a reflective sense, but in a very active sense. And today we're going to just run through a quick case study to illustrate some of these points. This is a beauty products manufacturer done by one of our clients. The product is body wash, and we want to unlock the reason why someone would repeat the purchase. And so this client had a problem. What should they do? Their ingredient costs have risen, and so should they keep the container size and raise the price, or reduce the container size and keep the price, or keep the same packaging size and price and change the formula so it's less costly? Or should they increase their advertising and hope that the new sales will offset the increased ingredients costs and ad spending? So they decide to change the formula. And so in order to change the formula, they need to try some options on their brand loyalists. And will these brand loyalists buy the product again if they do make these ingredients changes? So the requirement. The respondents needed to have purchased the product previously in the past year, and the respondents needed to be people who took showers and not baths, and the respondents needed to shower every day. And so this client was going to start with 60 respondents, and then narrow this down to 30 respondents after a first step, which is called the in-store visit. And so the respondents are going to take us shopping with them while they purchase the body wash. And they're going to answer some questions. The in-store visit is going to clarify if they're really telling the truth about whether or not they're repeat users. Through some of the questions that are answered, the researcher's going to be able to make that determination. And then the 30 enthusiasts are going to be selected from the in-store visit to move on to the in-shower portion. So how are they going to go about providing us with their feedback? And they're going to use audio tools, which are going to be combined with some other services, and they're actually going to get a real low-tech kind of piece of information in order to be able to do this study successfully. They're going to actually get a handy wallet card. And on this card, there's going to be some information about what they need to do their audio recordings. They're going to dial in, and when they dial in, they don't know this, but we know this, they're just going to press one button on their cell phone, but all their audio data is going to come into our database, and it's going to be sorted by date, time, and respondent, and completely identifiable whether we have 30 recordings or 30,000 recordings. And a number of questions are going to be on these cards, and they're going to go about the process of answering the questions. And they can also send in some photo and video and even text in information if they would like. So now we've deployed them out to go shopping for their body wash. And on their card, they're going to get some inspirational information that's going to kind of get them excited so that when they go out to the store, they're very enthusiastic about telling us everything that they're going through as they make their body wash purchase. And then, of course, they're going to get the specific questions that they're supposed to answer. What store are you in? Is it how easy or difficult is it to find the body wash section? What do you want from a body wash? What are the key criteria? These are all key points that the researcher wants to identify for the client in order to make the determination about which are the right 30 people to include in the shower study. And once all of their they've done all of their audio recordings. This is going to be kind of what it looks like when the researcher opens up the database and looks to see what has been collected. There are going to be statements that are going to be transcribed from the audio recording, and then all of the pictures that the respondent has sent in about their in-store shopping experience are going to appear. So we're going to look at about 60 of these different statements, and from that, the researcher is going to be able to determine who the 30 people are who are going to go into the shower. And so now we're going to get ready for the shower portion of the study. And here again, this respondent is going to get a tool, a very low-tech tool, which is going to be another card, which is laminated and waterproof, that they're actually going to take into the shower with them. And this is going to have key questions on it that they're supposed to answer about the body wash while they're actually in the shower. And so now we're going to get them into the shower. And what's going to happen? Well, first of all, we need to run a test to make sure that when the water is running and they are in the shower, that we can hear what they have to say. Because, of course, that is going to be the crux of what we need to know. And so once that test has taken place, we're going to put them in the shower. And so what's going to happen when we put the respondents in there? What are we going to hear?
This version feels like I'm floating in luxurious lather that lasts and lasts. It feels silky and not greasy. I just put a small dab on my bath sponge. I'm already noticing a difference in the feel and the texture of my skin. My skin feels softer already and definitely feels like it will be less dry. It feels really good. I feel like I can step out and go on with my day, no lotion required. It lathered well, feels extremely moisturizing, almost as good as putting on after the shower. It feels like it will continue to be a good moisturizing body wash. I would definitely buy this body wash again. My skin is taking well to this body wash, and it does not feel dry or irritated. There is something weird about the smell. It reminds me of the same fruit smell as in my dishwashing liquid. The shower is sometimes my only me time in an entire day. I definitely do not want to be reminded of the pile of dishes in my sink while I'm taking a shower, which is sometimes the only relaxing moment of my day. Pretty soon this same smell is going to be in my detergent, and then that's it. I'm going to look for something else for the shower, even though I love fruits and I'm not a flower fragrance person. With this version, I don't feel like I can rinse it off completely. This version of the body wash feels so greasy. I'm guessing there's an added moisturizer in it. Okay, I am now out of the shower, and I'm feeling grosser than when I went in. With this formula, I feel like I'm now leaving trails of grease on my towel, and probably I'll be doing the same on my clothes too. I would definitely look around for another product if this is what I had to use.
Okay, one thing I didn't say at the beginning is that this particular client had a set of sample formulas that were shipped in advance to the 30 respondents. And they were labeled product 1, 2, 3, and then repeated. And there was there were repeats of the same formula in the materials that the people received, and they did this over like a series of 9 days with the 3 formulas, so that there was a wide opportunity for them to get feedback on what the testing experience was really like. Okay, so now at the end of the day, each day the persons also had to, we texted out to them to remind them to dial in and tell us how their skin felt at the end of the day, ask them what their thoughts were about the body wash at the end of the day. Did they feel the same way they felt in the morning after they used it? And were any of their reactions different now? And would they buy this body wash again? And so now, one of the things that's been talked about at this particular conference has been the just massive amount that these mobile qualitative studies collect. And you can imagine that this is going to collect a lot of information. So what do we do now? This is really where the researcher is going to need some help, because we have to get into data extraction reports and text analytics and charts and graphs in order for the researcher to be able to produce something for the client that is a usable piece of information. And so now we can start to look at what happens on the board. Here are some statements from the respondent. We've got about 9 respondent statements, 9 days of statements for each respondent for the shower experience, and then the end of the day statements as well. And so what you can start to see now is that it's possible to do some highlighting and tagging of what the ups and downs are, the positives and experiences of this particular study. It's possible to highlight and tag the negatives as well as the positives, and then also possible to just kind of color code and get, we can do different things that allow you to create what you're looking for in the text. And then you can convert all of that into a word cloud so that it's possible to kind of get a better feel for what the ups and downs and highs and lows are of this study. And then, of course, some charts and graphs that are going to show what the client's expectation of the repeat purchase process is going to be. And basically the point here is that the audio gives you a deep understanding of sentiment, because when you're listening to what a recording says, you're able to really come up with the feelings and thoughts that a person really projects into the experience. It's much deeper than if you're just typing in on a board and looking at text only, and don't have the option of the audio as well to hear what is actually being said. So one of the things I want to talk about today also is the advantage of privacy with audio recordings in Mobile Qualitative. And we have clients that do a lot of studies that involve privacy type related activities. And obviously with privacy, with audio, you have anonymity, you can be candid in the moment. There's an emotional sentiment that you can pick up. You're not talking directly to someone else, but you're talking as if you're talking to yourself about what you really feel. And there's a frankness that can be created about what exactly happened. Even things that would not be shared in an audio interview or an IDI are shared directly with the telephone when you think you're talking to yourself and not realizing what's happening to all of that information that you're providing. There's no worry about how do I say this without embarrassing myself. The person knows their name is not on the recording. And over a period of a few days, we discovered that as they become more comfortable with the process, they start to share more and become even more candid in their comments, which is what the researcher wants to get. And you learn what the experience was really like as it happened. This is some of the areas that we have actually seen researchers do these types of audio studies in. And people have, of course, many times sent in interesting pictures and even some videos of some of their experiences in these, I guess I would call privacy moments in these studies. And sometimes those elements are required by the researcher. But it's really hard for a researcher sometimes to get at some of these, some of the real things that are really happening in these exact moments. So these types of themes are really applicable to this kind of technology. And obviously there are many other applications, shopper insights, mall intercepts, retail analysis, etc. All of these are things where you can use this kind of capability. And so basically to summarize, with the MoQual matrix, at the point of purchase you can get the answer to both qualitative and mobile, the answer to the question of why. So I hope you enjoy this short presentation. And hope you enjoy doing some audio recordings in the privacy of a moment.
Hi, Rebecca. It's Kristen Schweitzer of Beacon Research and Green Book New Qual. I thought you were dancing your way out of the room there. 2 questions, please, around the shower phase of the study. First of all, of the 30 that were put into, actually, I guess I should ask it this way, in your test to determine AV quality, can you record while the water is running, what kind of waste did you have as far as people who it was not good enough quality to participate? And then secondly, where physically was their phone? Was it in the shower or just in the bathroom outside of the shower door?
Those are good questions. And I think, as I recall in this particular study, there maybe been like 5 or 6 people where they had trouble with the shower. One of my team members ran this study for the researcher, and I remember hearing that there were some struggles with some of the shower recordings, and also some of the transcriptionists were complaining about how loud some of the showers were, about how long it took to get the notes up on the board. So that was also an issue. But the test, it's like there's a little bit of give and take. You've got the 30 you want, and then you've got like maybe the next 5 that are going to be okay. So if one doesn't work out, you can move down the list a little bit and find somebody else. The second part of your question? The phone. Okay, so the phones were, we had some people with shower curtains. So the phone was like right on the edge of the bathtub outside the shower curtain. Some people had like glass shower doors, and they would leave them open. I remember somebody talking about putting towels in front of their shower so the water didn't run out, that type of thing. And yes, we did have some people that had the phone, that had a big enough shower that they could put the phone in the soap area and like stand it up. And we heard some funny stories in this particular study. Yeah.
Hi, John Garvey from GMI. Just curious what you did for incentive, feedback from people who are participating in this, because, candidly, having people in the shower, it's a little intrusive, so I'm curious what feedback people gave you and what they thought of the experience, would they do it again, things of that nature.
I don't think we had anybody in this study that, now of course this is the researchers' study. We're not the researchers, we're the facilitators. But I don't recall hearing about anybody that didn't like being part of the study. And I think the incentive in this was $150, as I recall. And I think people had fun with it. People have fun with this technology. We get, people will ask us a lot of times, did they really record what they were supposed to record? And it's more like, how do you get them to stop recording and just record what they're supposed to record? It is more the problem. People just enjoy it. It's easy. It's very easy.